Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Keith McGinnis with KCDC Designs. This is a fantasy marble, and this is probably one of the most requested by customers. It just turns out so cool. So, hey, I want to show you how I did it. Anytime I do this, I want to start, actually, anytime I do any type of a white marble, my undertone colors are never going to be a solid white. So here we've got interference gold, white metallic, and white pearl. And that's to give a lot of visual interest to that base.
I'm going to go somewhat kind of striated. Yeah, that black might show up underneath there, but I still think that'll be okay.
Now, the reason I said that is because normally when I'm going to do a white metallic or a fantasy marble or something like that, I'm going to start off with a white base. Well, my sample board happened to be black, and I thought, well, let's just see what happens. And towards the end of the video, I'll hold up another piece that basically I think I use the exact same colors, but the difference in the final product, if you will, of the one having a black base, one having a white base, because epoxy is more translucent and more transparent than you think.
All right. So one of the hardest things that, if you're just starting out with this, one of the hardest things to learn and you really have to train yourself, is to be patient. You've got to give the epoxy a chance to start to develop and start to do its thing. I see some lines here where I melded with my hand that I don't like, but if you can see what I initially melded with my hand, you cannot see any of that. That has softened up and it has become more of a natural look. So I'm going to give that all a chance to do the same. And then torching, we're doing a couple things every time we torch it. When we torch it, we're getting the bubbles out, but when we torch it, what we're also doing is make it a little bit more fluid. And the more fluid it is, the more it's going to continue to soften. But keep in mind also, epoxy is a two-part product that has a chemical reaction when part A and part B are combined. And what happens is there's an exothermic reaction, meaning it's going to heat up as it starts to cure. So the warmer the epoxy is, the quicker it's going to set up and cure. So keep that in mind too. If we torch it too much, we're actually accelerating that curing process. And I think what I want to do is I want to kind of just do an overall, getting some different colors in there.
And again, right here, I'm just kind of working on the foundation.
Do I want all of them? Maybe. And last one, we'll get a little bit of charcoal. Don't know that I need the gray. And I want just to get a little bit of white, maybe a little bit of black also. Yeah, a bit of black also.
So take note of, I'm very lightly spraying those colors on. I don't want to completely change or overtake as far as the base or the undertones, and there's times I don't even do this. I just go on to creating the veining. But I'm doing it very lightly, and then you'll see what happens next.
I'm going to use my notched bondo spreader because it makes a little bit quicker work.
Now for my design, I don't want to go back and forth a bunch of times. I don't want to muddy up the colors. I'm just going through there to kind of give that layered stone look.
Remember what I said about being patient and let everything develop. Let's run some veins in there. And I'm going to start with black. And let's start, let's get, all right there. Oh, let's go this way with it. Wow, I like how that is very, very fluid. Of course, I just got through torching it, so that's a lot of it. So I'm just going to run through my colors. That was black. This is charcoal.
Normally I would speed this part up, but I wanted you to be able to see in real time how I'm running those spray paint veins in there. Really nothing strategic. All I'm doing is getting the colors added to the surface and kind of layering those colors, if you will. Now, on a smaller project like this, I might wait 15 minutes or so to let the epoxy set up just a little bit. That way, when I add those spray paint vents in there, the epoxy isn't so fluid. Obviously, on a very large countertop surface, you would need to start the veining process right away.
Wow, that is very fluid. I like that. I know you probably can't tell when I put this in there, but the spray paint really incorporates very, very well into the epoxy.
Leave me some comments below about what you think about the process and what do you think about how things are going so far. Have you done the same thing? Have you found other methods that work really good for you? Hey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
Now, before I start manipulating that with a heat gun, I want to get some white in there, but I can also run kind of some straggler veins with some of the colors that I pick up from here. Let's get another one going off this direction here.
I hope you're noticing that when I'm spraying that ton depressor and I'm running those paints through there and just running those lines through there, there's really no rhyme or reason. There's nothing strategic about what I'm doing. I'm using the edge of the stick more than the flat of the stick because I want some more of the sharper lines. But I'm just spraying each color on and just running it in there, and then you'll see what happens with the heat gun. And although right now you can't see the number of colors or the layer of colors that are in there, you're really going to see some separation once I start moving them around.
Let's get some white in there. Oh, got to get some khaki.
Seeing that most of the colors I had in there were bronze colors, a different couple shades of bronze. There was some charcoal, and so I'm adding the khaki in there right now because that light brown kind of really gives it a good pop.
Now let's get some white in there. Now, see how that white really spreads out? It's important to see that, and maybe the camera's not picking it up, but the reason that's important to see that, watch what happens here in this one here. It really looks like it takes over, but watch what happens when I take the heat gun to it. Get just a little bit in there, and I think I'm going to get just a few black veins in there, maybe set that off just a little bit. I'm tapping that so I don't end up with a big splotch, if you will. Wow, I mean, oh gosh, I wish you could see what that's doing. So I really wouldn't even need to take the heat gun to this and manipulate it. That is looking so cool right there. But I'm going to, because I want to see what kind of difference that's going to make. Get a little bit of black in that one. If I only knew how to draw a happy tree, I'd put a happy tree in there as well.
So again, I'm going to stress, don't overthink this part. Don't think that I'm doing anything, I'm going to say artistic. I'm just, when you're looking at a piece, sometimes it just feels right to run a vein.
Where's my white? Where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? I searched the world over, thought I found true love, and you met another, and you were gone. Probably just spit on my work. Got to get a little bit of white in there to break that up. Wow, that looks so cool. Oh my gosh, I hate it when I do that. I've got studio lights and I don't have them on, so yep, that glare is there. All right, did I get rid of the glare? I did. All right. So now let's get a heat gun on it. And let's move some of that around. Let's start over here. I did this one first. I am really not even wanting to do this because it looks so good.
This really is where the magic happens, called painting with air. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but what it does to those veins and how it moves them around and just makes them look so authentic, and then continue to move a little bit after that.
Uh-oh. It now looks better. Oh my gosh.
Now maybe moving over to this side, you might be able to see a little bit, but remember how I said I was using the edge of the stick to run those spray paint veins, and it really kind of puts in a thin line of color. Well, if you come down with your heat gun over the top, you can kind of open those veins up, and then you can come from the sides and you can move those veins around. So you can kind of open them and close them, and as you're doing that, you're going to get a feel of what looks really good, knowing that it's still going to continue to move just a little bit and continue to flow a little bit, and actually gets cooler as time goes on.
So now I'm kind of softening up some of the middle as well, but I'm telling you, that looks absolutely amazing. I'm glad I took the heat gun to it and decided to manipulate it. Wow, that is just, remember how that white really kind of spread out when I first put it on there? But it is such a cool effect, and it has such a different effect than the rest of the spray paints. I got to get up over the top here.
Now maybe you can get a little bit more of an idea what I mean by that separation and how those colors stay separated. It just is so cool. If it looks cool on video, take that times 10 seeing it in person. Seriously.
You can still see the pearl. You can still see the ghost gold, or interference gold, if you will. There's some of that white again. And I mean, it looks so much cooler in person because it's, I mean, it's hard to see, but it almost looks like you're looking way, way, way down, or you're looking down from way up high.
Now this is just a sample board, and it really did not take me long to do this. I've done very large countertop surfaces up to 40 and 50 square feet and had plenty of time to do all of the veining that I wanted to do.
And that was on a white base compared to a dark base. And you can see that it's lighter. It's basically, it's the exact same technique, probably the same colors too.
And that's just the difference between having a black undercoat and a white undercoat, how that can make a difference. As much as I'll say I'm really, really pleased with the way this turns out, every time I've done a fantasy marble like this with that technique and that design, it has always turned out amazing. I mean, you stand back and you wonder if you really created it. It is that cool. Like I said, this is a very simple to design to create, and it's very authentic, and I think that's why we've had anyway so many customers who have liked this because it's such a natural stone look, using whatever colors that are going to match up with their decor. Once again, this is Keith McGinnis with KCDC Designs. I want to thank you so much for supporting my channel. We just hit that 10,000 subscribers, and I couldn't be more pleased and grateful to you all. So thank you, and subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you on the next video.